Welcome to the Weekly Digest, a program where we look at and highlight the work of ministers of government as they push the administration's developmental agenda. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips launched the 5th Annual Prime Minister's T20 Cup on Sunday at the Muslim Youth Organization ground. During his opening remarks, he noted how pleased he is to see the growth of the signature softball event. The senior government official also boosted the cash prize in the female battle of the tournament with a donation.
So, personally, I will contribute to raising this first prize from $50,000 to at least $100,000.
Come on, put your hands together.
And the second prize will move from $25,000 to at least $50,000. Right? So I think what we're doing there is sending a strong message to our female that even though this year we're starting with 4 teams, right? We expect the female category to grow, and hopefully by next year we have increased prize money and maybe 8 teams, because as quite rightly said by Mr. Ramsingh, the female cricket is growing, not only internationally but in Guyana too. Right? And we, as part of the Prime Minister Cup, want to contribute to that growth.
He also expressed a desire to see the tournament expanded to include regional teams and more international T20 teams being involved. The event is being organized by the Georgetown Softball Cricket League Inc. and will feature a number of local and international teams over 3 days. Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton on Monday launched 3 continuous technical and vocational programs for residents of Siparuta in Region 6. Through the Board of Industrial Training, the courses will be delivered in areas such as joinery, electrical installation, and handicraft, with 10 trainees for each course. Minister Hamilton indicated that the programs are significant and beneficial to the villagers. He said they will have access to the courses in their communities and skilled individuals at the end of the training.
The programs that are being done in the village, it helps families. It takes the stress off of persons from Siparuta in the event they want to do joinery or electrical installation, and they have to go out to Upper Quarantine Technical Institute, or they have to go to New Amsterdam Technical Institute. Those are costs to families, and those type of resources they might not have.
Minister Hamilton said too that the women must think outside of the box, thereby exploring many other areas. Government remains steadfast in its commitment to ensuring a healthy population through investments and access to information and services that encourage healthier lifestyles. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, who was speaking at the opening of a one-day wellness market on Sunday, highlighted the importance of physical activity, nutrition, and mental well-being.
The other problem that we have is that we have moved away from a very traditional diet where we were eating a lot of fresh vegetables and fruits and so forth, and fish, and we have gone to one where we are now consuming a lot of fast foods, which include a lot of trans fats, and we have stopped using water and things that are healthy and consuming a lot of sugary beverages.
Minister Anthony explained that there are several cases of young people displaying signs of heart conditions and other chronic non-communicable diseases. In Guyana, it is estimated that about 60,000 persons are diabetic, with only a small percentage being aware of their health status. The health minister said many of these chronic diseases can be prevented if Guyanese embrace a healthy lifestyle. Miners are assured that the Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030 will not halt mining, but rather promote safe mining practices. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat gave the assurance on Monday as he addressed the opening of the Quarrying, Mining and Exploration Conference. The 2-day conference forms part of the activities of Mining Week, which is being held under the theme Emerging from Adversity, Transitioning to Sustainability.
We would have made it clear that the LCDS 2030 in no way will stop mining or logging in Guyana. The LCDS 2030 speaks towards responsible, sustainable mining and logging activities. It speaks towards our energy mix as a country. It speaks towards value-added, downstream activities, processing, and that is where we need to head as a country.
Value added to raw materials will allow the country to earn more as it creates more jobs and business opportunities. As Cricket Carnival nears, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony on Monday reinforced the need for persons to be vaccinated and to take their booster shots.
Currently with boosters, we now have 72,144 booster doses that have been administered. But again, because most people would have received their first and second dose maybe about a year ago, there's really need for them to take their boosters now.
The PPPC government has honored its commitment to improve the livelihood of Alboysong residents who will soon benefit from several community enhancement projects worth $1.4 billion. Launched on Monday, Public Works Minister Bishop Juan Edgel said the project has more benefits than meets the eye.
We are not here to displace anybody, even though people will have to move. We are here to bring value to your neighborhood.
Enhancement works will be undertaken along Independence Boulevard. This will see the construction of a 3-lane carriageway with concrete drains and culverts. It will also have a 3 meters wide promenade with elevated lights, a garden, and seats. A 1.2 kilometer upgrade will also be done on Cemetery Road from Princess Street to Mandela Avenue. This includes an upgrade of the existing carriageway to allow 4 lanes, construction of drains along the eastern and western carriageway, enhancement of the current avenue, and a fence to both sides of the cemetery. Minister Edgel said the projects are expected to be completed by the end of the year. Residents of Smith Creek Region 1 will benefit from the government's Hinterland Housing Program. This program will see the construction of elevated wooden homes within the community and is set to commence in October. Government has committed to ensuring there are equitable benefits for Amerindian communities.
We express our love by ensuring that we come and meet you, by we listen to you, we go back and we see opportunities so that we can improve this community and you as a people.
As government equips the health system to fight monkeypox, the first case has been confirmed in Guyana. The announcement was made on Monday by Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony.
We have, over the last weekend, had a case of suspected monkeypox. Clinically, the person had all the signs and symptoms of monkeypox, and we have been able to confirm that by using PCR to do the confirmatory diagnosis. So we now have our first case of monkeypox in Guyana. And we have since isolated the patient, so that patient is now in an isolated area at the Ocean View Hospital, and that patient is stable and is doing very well.
The patient is a male in his 50s from Region 4. Dr. Anthony is assuring the public that the country has been preparing for this eventuality and is equipped to handle the situation.
With this case, we are taking all the necessary measures, and I want the public to know that we have diagnostic capabilities, we have our labs that are prepared, we have a lot of people who have been trained. Over the last couple of months, we have trained a number of physicians, we have trained a number of laboratory staff, just in case if we have cases, what to do.
As part of the government's initiatives to develop Amerindian communities, Citrus Grove received a new canter, bus shed, chainsaws, a signboard, 5 water tanks, 1 brush cutter, and a 40 horsepower outboard engine. These items were purchased from the money the village received under the Presidential Grant Initiative and the economic grant given to Amerindian communities. The $10 million economic grant received by Citrus Grove was allocated to be used as capital for investments in sustainable projects that allows the village to earn. This one-off grant was given as government realized the dire effects of the COVID-19 pandemic in the hinterland. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell stated that the items will ensure the village is developed as they will create a new stream of income for the village council.
When we got into office, one of the first initiatives that we did was to ensure that we had support mechanisms to every community, every village, every region, and that is to every household the support of the household grant.
Minister Kroll indicated that the center will be utilized as a hub for various community programs. With the first case of monkeypox being identified and confirmed here in Guyana, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said that the previously established protocols and measures have already taken effect. Dr. Anthony highlighted that government has implemented a number of mechanisms since the initial warning by the World Health Organization.
Having seen that you had a spread and the WHO declaring that it's a public health emergency, we immediately took a number of steps here in Guyana.
The minister pointed out that the first confirmed case was not surprising, and the established mechanisms were immediately implemented to contain the spread of the disease.
We wanted to make sure that this patient is properly isolated so that he wouldn't be in contact with other persons.
Over 250 persons are now closer to owning their own homes as they received house lots in lowland East Coast Demerara. This was done during an allocation exercise led by the Housing and Water Ministry at Hope Secondary School. Minister Colin Kroll, addressing residents, reminded them that there are no exceptions to government's commitment of providing affordable housing.
These issues that confront the community of lowland has already some persons who are allocated, and they have never been able to see nor obviously to even reach the stage of access. Our exercise today will see all those outstanding persons from the community or the environs of lowland being able to complete their allocation exercise before you leave this afternoon.
The allocation of the house lots brought smiles to the faces of persons who were waiting years for this moment. Over 100 youths are benefiting from an ICT summer camp being conducted at Dolphin Secondary School. The summer camp is led by the Industry and Innovations Unit under the Office of the Prime Minister. At the camp, students are being taught in the areas of innovations and communications technology, the fundamentals of information technology, as well as an introduction to computer coding. Participants commended the program, saying it is extremely beneficial. Business process outsourcing BPO stakeholders have been reassured that government is a partner that is ready to work to facilitate their expansion in Guyana. gov't's Chief Executive Officer Dr. Peter Ramsaroop said government has money set aside for the construction of 2 call centers. One of the centers is going to be constructed in Berbice Region 6, while another in Essequibo Region 2. Dr. Ramsaroop was at the time addressing a BPO stakeholders meeting. He said government is ready to work with their clients to accelerate expansion.
We have access to Fortune 500 companies, right? And we are gaining more access as I travel with the president. We're meeting a lot of those companies. How do we then use that influence to push their outsourcing to Guyana through one of the operators? Right, so that's again where government can really help you finding new clients. Because ultimately, with finding new clients is jobs for our people, and that's the president's goal.
Dr. Ramsaroop pointed out that there are about 7,000 BPO seats occupied in Guyana. In keeping with government's commitment to create 50,000 jobs, he said the aim is to bump that number up to about 65,000 within 2 years and even more as the market expands. However, he made a call for BPOs in Guyana to work together and create greater synergy to better market Guyana despite being competitors. Just a year after a section of the North Rhinebelt Secondary School went up in flames, the sod was turned for the construction of a brand new building in its place. Speaking at the contract signing and sod turning ceremony held at the school's compound on Wednesday, Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan underlined the major learning loss experienced due to the absence of such a large part of the school, which is an A-list facility.
This school, where we would ordinarily place more than 150 children every year, this year we'll only be able to place 50 to 60 students. This is the top school for South Georgetown. So it means somebody in South Georgetown, some family, many families, 100 or so of them, whose children ordinarily could have come here this year, will have to travel further and go to more crowded places to access the quality of education that was being delivered here.
The minister reiterated the importance of education in Guyana. She urged all stakeholders in the education process to protect learning at all costs. Roadworks on the Aubrey Barker Road has commenced, fulfilling a commitment made by President Dr. Irfan Ali, who visited the community back in June. The $95.3 million works, including widening of the road to ease congestion and construction of drains to address the issue of flooding, which severely affects the community when it rains. Those were some of the issues raised by residents with President Ali. The works are being executed by Surrey Paving Aggregate Company Caribbean Limited and is expected to be completed by the year end. Upon completion, the road will be about 7 meters wide, which will provide 2 lanes for comfortable use of the road. That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, that is dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.